Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Assuming you watched the first one. If you didn't, hello. Period. I've recovered from last time's slight mental breakdown. And ready for the hell that may very well be going outside. As far as I know, it still hasn't been patched. I didn't see any updates, so let's just jump straight in. Oh god, I saved about 1,000,000 times, didn't I? Because I wasn't sure if it saved. Yeah, let's go with you, and let's go. Cool. Cool. Exciting times! Oh. Music is still amazing. Frame rate is still not great. That's before we go outside, so just remind myself what we're doing. Find a spot where it's below 0. Yeah, we've done that already. Anything else worth noting? I don't think so. So get a strike and find a spot where it's below 0. Which is the food storage place. Cool! We can do that. That's not a problem. Oh god, every time you go in and outdoors, is it going to have one of these loading screens that takes half an hour? I don't know why I expected anything different. It's entirely on me. But okay. Fair enough. Sorry, I've just realised that because I've not got a very good suspension mount on this microphone, this incredibly amazing Logitech Rock Band microphone that I am forced to use. You probably get very loud bangs when I put a glass down, so yeah, thankfully I'm nearly finished. So there we go, no excuses anymore. Oh my god, this is a very long loading screen that maybe has frozen? Oh, no, yeah. Okay, moment of truth. Moment of truth with the frame rate. That's it, York. That's smoking surely not going to bite you in the arse in 14 years.
Non-smokers, smokers have a 4.7 times greater chance of getting lung disease.
Sounds about right.
You know that means it's more likely than getting asbestos poisoning?
Odd one to pull out of your hat, but okay.
The risk of death from lung cancer is actually much lower than what you think it is.
Yeah, this is an example of York perhaps not thinking
In
ahead
fact,
very well.
it's tiny when compared to heart disease, strokes, and pneumonia. We're always surrounded by easy ways to die, you know. Some people even get randomly struck by lightning and die right there on the spot.
I mean, that's true, but that's not a
And
reason
I
to
reckon
increase
you
your
also
chances.
know that secondhand smokers have 1.3 times greater the risk compared to smokers?
Of course.
So you won't mind paying the damages when I die of lung disease? How about writing that in a contract for me? You got a pen, right?
Okay, I like her. Yeah, York, you selfish asshole. Oh, that was just a still. Oh, okay. Fair play. He's putting his literal money where his mouth is.
I promise to protect you from all the evil in our world.
Oh, that's not
Oh,
the same.
that's stupid.
Yeah, that
By
I
the
agree.
way, what's your name?
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, just call me York. That's what everyone calls me.
Is
Like those
something
badge actually
wrong
says
with you?
Zach.
Adults ain't supposed to act like that. I only asked for your name so I can write it on the contract. You should have been able to figure that out if you're a real FBI agent like you said. Come on, sign here. Right here on the paper.
What's on the other side of her postcard?
Just as I thought, Zach. This contract paper, it's a Sang Rouge wrapper. Sang Rouge is here, too. This must mean that Sang Rouge is connected to the Lise Clarkson murder case somehow. This is a sprawling case that spread across the entire South. It's within our jurisdiction, Zach. we'll need to steal the right to investigate from the local authorities at once.
That is
By the way, miss, what's your name?
That's a very inflammatory way of stating
Patricia
that.
Woods. But I gotta write my name myself, or else it won't be a real signature.
So,
Tell me, Patricia, does this town have a sheriff? Or is it under the jurisdiction of the nearest city police?
yeah, you're being
Perfect
very
time.
threatening to a young girl.
Well, go on and steal it if you want it. I was just thinking about how this is way out of my daddy's league.
Of course.
Thank you for the information, Patricia. Okay, Zach, it's time to get to work. How should we seize control from the sheriff this time?
Jesus. The arrogance of York. So Sun Rouge, I'm assuming, is kind of like a powdered form of the Red Seeds. Even a special agent needs to stay sharp when it comes to the basics. Run, crouch, dodge. Wait a minute. Run and dodge are the same thing. I assume it's hold to run and tap to dodge. Move camera, melee, and red room. Okay. Oh my god, yeah, they were not kidding about the frame rate! Oh, Jesus! Okay, just so you get an idea, this is me moving in real life with a ridiculously slow shutter speed. But look at that compared to the frame rate in this, that is... Jesus! I think, okay. Okay, tutorial for the Red Room. Plus allows you to enter the Red Room. Inside you can access the following. Journal contains informed quests, inventory, use or discard items, map, check the map, config, change options or controller settings, title screen turns to title screen, album, check your fleur-de-lis, album, guidebook viewer, list of tutorials, data check, okay, link board. Okay, it's all stuff that's fairly self-explanatory, really. Okay, I don't really need to look at any of that. Okay, we are still running.
Hey there. So, you're the fella from the FBI I've been hearing so much about. I'm Melvin. They call me the sheriff round here.
Is that because you're the sheriff? Or do they just call you the sheriff?
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan? But call me York if you can. That's what everyone calls me.
Huh? Well, all right. Mr. York. How's that sound?
Fine by me.
I'm sure you figured this out, but our town's a small one.
It's a little square.
Yeah, folks are already busy spreading gossip about how some FBI agents come to town. Now, I reckon you came from the city.
He's being
What
overly
was it?
friendly.
D.C., L.A., or New York?
Oh, is this going to be a
Anywho,
whole city folk thing
In
here?
the city, it's normal not to know who your neighbor is. Fella who moves in next to you could cook up a dozen folks in his backyard, and no one would bat an eye.
I mean,
That's the
you're
city
unlikely to
for
have a
you.
backyard in the city.
Now, I never lived in one myself, but I visited him a few times, so I know what it's like. All pigs must die in the city of wolves. Yeah! Now, does that sound badass or what? I bet you'd... Hey!
She elbowed him in the dick!
I know, CLG. I'm just trying to make a little small talk, that's all.
His reaction was like, as though she'd hit him in the dick.
Anywho, round these parts, everyone knows each other's name. So lots of folks get leery when they see an étranger like you. And since it's my duty to protect the town, I thought I'd stop by and say hello.
Zach, it looks like this sheriff is quite the happy-go-lucky type. A clear indication of just how peaceful this town is.
Or how much
Melvin,
it has to
about
hide.
the Lise Clarkson
I
case.
knew you were here for that case.
All right, Melvin.
Can't put one
Jesus.
past the FBI. So they even got eyes on the smallest of towns like us, huh?
What are
Our
you doing?
world is filled with information, and it's all within their grasp. FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Okay, I like the crash zooms. Okay, Patricia's the
Lise
most
Clarkson
relatable
case is
person
connected
in this.
to a top-secret case that we've...
I know. If you're fixing to take the lead, then go right ahead. I'm just the humble sheriff of a tiny little town.
Yeah, which means
My
you know
jobs
more
are to
than
stop
you're
my
letting
neighbors
on,
from beating the piss out of each
and
other.
you don't want to deal with the
Listen to old
complicated
folks complain.
murder.
Honestly, this whole murder case has been weighing me down. So I'm gonna give you my full cooperation, Mr. Special Agent, sir.
Mr. Special Agent, sir!
Well, Zach, that was anticlimactic. I didn't even get to use my secret weapon.
What was your secret weapon, York? I mean, coming from you, that's sometimes
There's a
worrying.
cold storage warehouse on the southern end of town, isn't there? I'd like to get permission to enter it.
Say what?
You want to see where the body's being kept, right?
Oh, I get it now. Lisa's body, yeah. Now, that's what I call a special agent. You already figured that much out.
What, where the body is? I mean, you just said that everybody around here is really gossipy, so it doesn't really make... Like,
I'm not too sure that, going down there at this point is really gonna help much. You know?
why? What's happened to the body?
Explain it yourself, Daddy.
That's incredible. I don't believe this. Amazing. Did you hear that, Zach? They put the body in a cold storage warehouse. This is fantastic.
I thought we'd already intimated that.
Insanely
from
fantastic.
the information previously provided.
Really? Well, how about that? Well, all right then. I'll head on down to the warehouse ahead of you and make sure we get permission to search it.
Sounds good.
The management company only keeps the warehouse open during certain hours, so you'll have to come during those hours. I ain't looking to create any further disturbances. So be on time. Got it?
Oh,
Come
God,
on, let's
time.
roll, CLG.
I'm gonna walk home, Daddy. I still got another stop to make.
Oh, if you say so, sweetie. She's a real sharp one, as you can see.
Nope.
So I try to stay out of her way.
Haven't touched a button for too long.
Well, all right then, York. I'll see you at the warehouse.
Too friendly, too willing to do things, and too sort of reticent to give certain information. Dodgy as all hell. Oh, God! Oh, God, the freeway! Oh, God! How do I access it? Oh, God, okay, that's how I access it. Okay, this is amazing. Oh, God, it controls like ass!
Hey, you. You ain't secretly cutting kids up and sticking them into jars while you work as an FBI agent on the surface, are you?
What an oddly specific question.
Or using your FBI connections to sell kids to child trafficking organizations?
I've arrested people who've done both, but I've never engaged in either of those activities myself.
Frankly, I'm quite jealous. Jesus, York, you do come off as creepy.
Of course, I have imagined doing such things in order to learn more about the psychology of the criminals I deal with.
Not helping with what I just stated.
It was just a joke. Why are you getting all serious?
Because York has no sense of humour and he is a broken human being.
And don't tell me what you imagine, or else I'll get scared of you for real.
Probably should be, to be honest.
Can I come with you?
Not a good idea.
You signed a contract with me, remember? And besides, I'm kind of worried about my daddy.
Do whatever you like. This is America, land of the free.
I'm not entirely sure that's how that works still.
But I have one condition.
What condition?
Don't ask me about Zach. It's a private matter. Zach, it feels like she's carrying something with her. Kind of reminds me of you back when we first met.
Ooh, that's not necessarily a good thing considering how you first met.
I can't leave her alone like this. You feel the same way, don't you?
No, I don't think you should be dragging a young girl into a murder investigation, but hey, that's just me.
Looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right to Louis. Melvin called you a strange name. CLG, I think. What exactly does that mean?
Clever little girl. That's what it stands for, at least. It's nice that he made up his own nickname for me and all, but it sounds kind of weird. I wish he'd call me something normal, like just Patricia or Patty, you know?
Patty? Now that name's got a ring to it. I like it. How about Zach and I call you Patty from here on out?
Do whatever you like. Weirdo.
I mean, she's not even here. So, okay, never mind, she is now. Right, so what happened there was two different conversations kind of overlapped, and also the skateboard is very fucking loud. So, yeah. We'll have to see what happens with that, because that was excessively loud. I don't know if I can turn that down the options. But we're at the bowling alley. Yeah. So let's bowl a strike. Let's try and bowl a strike.
Patty, is something wrong?
I got something to say. When I first met you in the hotel parking lot, you mentioned Saint Rouge, right?
That was literally about 3 minutes ago, but yes.
If you want to find it, maybe you should track down Professor R.
Does the R stand for Rouge?
Professor R.
Yeah. Professor R owns the jazz bar on the other side of the bayou.
How do you know that?
Because.
Because, huh? Interesting.
Alexis's has been unlocked. The owl's nest has been unlocked. Oh god, get in! Get in before the frame rate kills us! Wow, people really were not kidding with the outdoors frame rate in this. That's something utterly spectacular. I'm imagining if this is anything like the first game, that's not really going to impact gameplay all that much, because you're just basically moving around to get from place to place in the first game. And everything of note happens indoors, and the indoor frame rate is not great, and it's definitely got some weird, slow inputs. But I mean, the frame rate's decent enough to, you know, play. Right, anyway. Do I go here to bowl? Special for sunburn customers only. Wait, can you get sunburnt in this? That would be amazing. I know you can get smelly in the first game. You can get absolutely filthy and grow a full beard and everything. We are not going with York bearded. He looks awful bearded. At least he did in the first game. It does not suit him. It exacerbates his creepy smile, which is not something you need. That is one fierce bowling ball.
10 maidens, Zach. Let's topple their hourglass figures and complete this oracle once and for all.
Oh, my Lord. I don't believe I've seen you around here before. Sorry, honey, but you can't smoke in here. Since you're with Patricia, I'm guessing you're some friend of Melvin's.
He's Agent York from the FBI. This is Alexis, the owner of this restaurant. I'm helping out Agent York in his investigation. We signed a contract.
Oh, my Lord. Well, ain't that something?
Yeah, the contract wasn't quite what you wanted, but yeah.
I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York.
She's either his wife or his sister
Yes,
or
call
something.
me York.
I'm not sure of the
Everyone's
ages in
always
this.
called me that.
Oh, my Lord. Well, that's got to be the strangest introduction I've ever heard.
Oh, you'll hear a lot
No
stranger
wonder
from
everyone
him.
in town's been talking about you.
I want a chocolate sundae, but no cherries. I want 2 wafers instead. Don't put too many Rice Krispies on it. Oh, but don't scrimp on the chocolate syrup either.
Oh, my Lord. And what'll it be for you, honey?
Alexis, are these photos of the town?
Oh, you like my pictures? My hobby's collecting snapshots of what our town used to be like. So whenever someone gives me an old picture, I just put it up here on display.
Okay, one of these
Our
is going to end
world
up
these
useful.
days feels a bit cold to me, you know? Just thought it'd be nice to help folks remember what it was like in the good old days.
Zach, did you hear that? The good old days. Even in a remote town that's already far behind the times, there are still people who yearn for the past.
I mean, insulting, but okay.
She told me what was going on, you know.
What?
Lise, you don't need to try and hide it from me, honey. Last time she came here, she told me all about it. Some odd fella was following her around, stalking her like.
What kind of fellow?
She said he had a really tall shadow,
How tall?
as tall as an oak tree.
Did that ring any bells for you?
Sadly, it didn't.
Yeah, 'cause it's almost
I
like a
know
riddle.
just about everyone in this here town, but I ain't never seen a man who stands that tall. Maybe it really was an oak tree and she just mistook it for someone. Sometimes the silhouettes of them trees with lots of Spanish moss hanging down make me feel a little funny too.
I don't think so, Alexis. Lise said the shadow was following her, correct? That means she must have been stalked by a man as tall as an oak tree. If she had only mistaken an oak tree for a person, she wouldn't have described it that way. She might have said,
It felt like a crowd of people was staring at me.
yes, exactly. She certainly wouldn't have talked about being followed by someone. Thank you, Patty.
Very roundabout way
this
of getting
data
there, but
is
yes.
all very intriguing. But it isn't the answer we're looking for. We came to knock down the 10 maidens, remember?
Oh, yeah! Booyah! I got a turkey!
Truly mesmerizing.
Jesus!
This is why I never tire of small-town investigations. Same goes for you, right?
Hello, madam. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Oh, howdy, stranger. My, you're a handsome one.
Time to work the charm.
You came out here from the city, didn't you? I can always spot you city folk from a mile away.
I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Would you mind calling me York, ma'am?
Oh, so you are from the FBI. I thought as much. So sophisticated. Well, my horoscope in the paper today told me I'd be meeting someone new. And those horoscopes never miss. They're the real deal.
No, they're not.
One even predicted when I'd bowl my first perfect game. Oh, no! Oh, could you stand a bit closer to me?
Don't do it.
Ooh, that was a close one. If you move any further that way, you'll cast a shadow over the lane. Well, the sheriff did that once, and something horrible happened. The next time I bowled, I got a gutter ball. First time in 12 years. I was mortified. And I am going to make sure nothing like that ever happens again. In our world, some routines lead to good things, while others only lead to the bad. So, you mustn't ever cast a shadow over the lane. Is that understood?
Shadows are a recurring thing.
It's her routine, Zach. Understand? Just like us and coffee. Incidentally, ma'am, would you mind letting me use this lane too? I'm investigating the Lise Clarkson murder case. And I need to topple 10 maidens, no matter what it takes.
No, absolutely not. Not even the FBI can take my lane from me. I haven't given it up once ever since my husband passed away over a decade ago. I'll never break my promise to him.
But
Now, if you'll excuse me.
I'm not entirely sure it's your lane, specifically. That's it, get a gutter ball. You lane bogarting old biddy. Oh god, she's terrifying. Got a ball, 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 got a ball. Oh, boo.
Ooh, you like that? That's what I'm talking about. Who's your mama?
Zach, it looks like negotiations have failed. Now
Yep.
I'm afraid we have no choice but to force her to let us use her bowling lane.
York, what are you
Yes,
going
I
to
know.
do?
I won't do anything illegal.
That doesn't mean you won't do something immoral.
Excuse me, Mrs. Carpenter.
Stop! Not now.
I'm basking in the glory.
Can't you see I'm already in my bowling stance?
Pretty much.
What, are you blind?
All right, Mr. Carpenter, calm down.
Holy mother of bowling balls, let me pick up this split. Holy mother of bowling balls, let me pick up this split. Holy mother of bowling balls, let me pick up this split.
Okay, right. You keep doing that. Jesus. Christ, lady, you're loud. Yeah, that's not surprising. Think you pretty much used up all your lung capacity on that yell.
That stance, always works on a split. Oh, yeah, never fails.
Zach, our new friend, appears to be a very superstitious lady.
Yeah, so let's prey on her superstitions.
We should try and utilize this trait of hers in order to gain access to the lane for a bit. That was an amazing shot, Mrs. Carpenter. In fact, it may have been the most amazing shot I've ever seen.
Oh, you charmer, York.
Speaking of which, where did you happen to find all those neat little items? The ones you used to help you bowl that split just now.
Ooh, you got a keen eye there, Mr. Special Agent.
I mean, he is a special agent, so probably part of the job.
Taken a liking to my collection, have you?
Oh, yes. A great liking.
Oh, God.
I buy all my charms and power stones from Erzuli Frida.
Erzuli Frida.
Yes, it's a mystical establishment run by the Mirror.
The paper, the mirror.
The mirror.
If you're interested, I can mark it on your map for you.
Yeah, I have nothing marked on my map really so far, so add more things.
Zach, this is it. Erzuli Frida. There must be a treasure trove of dubious trinkets on sale there.
So I can go and buy something there that will put her off bowling?
We may even be able to find something capable of changing her mind.
Cool, let's
It
do
really
that.
feels like we're in the deep south now, doesn't it?
I don't even know what you mean by that. Nope, get stuck on the side. I'm going to keep saving relatively frequently because I've heard reports that this game crashes a lot, which, I mean, after playing the ports of the first game, shouldn't really surprise me in any way. But yes, I still think the best way to play the first game is to play the original release on the Xbox 360 because all the other ports are various shades of completely unstable. The PS3 port is probably the second best, maybe tied with the Switch port since the updates it's had, the patches. But yeah, I think the PS3 port's slightly more stable, but the Switch port is overall better looking, so it's sort of choose between the two of those. But yeah, the PC port is atrocious from what I can remember playing it a few years back. This is supposedly going to be Switch exclusive, but it wouldn't surprise me if you see this on PC at some point. And purely on frame rate alone, it may be a better idea to get it there. Oh,
I thought you
God.
came here to bowl.
Yes, I did.
Then why are you leaving? You gave up on trying to convince Mrs. Carpenter to let you play?
No, Patty, neither Zach nor I have given up on anything. We're just going to stop by Erzuli Frida.
Erzuli Frida? What do you want with that place?
What do you know about it, Patty?
It's a dumb store that sells stupid voodoo charms and even stupider souvenirs. No one who actually lives here would ever be caught dead there. Daddy even told me to steer clear of it.
And why is that?
'Cause they sell guns?
You mean Erzuli Frida is a gun shop?
It's kinda like a gun shop and a voodoo shop had a baby.
A voodoo shop? Thank you, Patty. You just helped me make up my mind. We're going to use the power of voodoo to help us steal the right to use that lane.
Right, so map. You're going to set custom mobile. Azuli Frida is this way. Oh, so I am heading towards it. Good. Do 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 do.
So, what do you think of it? Yes, we're talking about him. Unga, is the skeletal gentleman friend or foe? Or does he merely exist outside the realms of myth? It's still too early to tell. But it's clear that he'll be the key to uncovering this case's mysteries. That's what my soul tells me.
Wait a minute, can my skateboard take damage?
Unga feels very familiar to me. You might even say he reminds me of someone. Yes, I think I see the connection now. A cheerful, wise, yet also mysterious African-American who appeared in a variety of different films. My mind must be overlapping him with the skeletal gentleman. Do you remember his name? Ah, yes, that's it. Scatman Crothers. In 1980, he played Dick Halloran in The Shining. And in 1983, he was in The Twilight Zone. He played the man who invited all those elderly folks into a strange new world. I knew it, Zach. There's definitely a connection here, but he's a bit too old. Scatman's more of a sage character. Our skeletal gentleman is a little younger, isn't he? Yes. They have different body types, but what about Forrest Whitaker? He made his debut in 1982 in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Then he was in Platoon and The Color of Money, both released in 1986, followed by Good Morning Vietnam in 1987. Oh, and he was in Bird in 1988. What an impressive filmography. Across the 80s, he transformed his rough, young image into a more cheerful, wiser one. That's why the 80s can also be described as the decade that built up Forrest Whitaker's career. I firmly believe that he'll win an Academy Award for Best Actor someday. Yes, I'm sure it's right around the corner. He'll most likely wait until the time is ripe. Maybe around next year, then he'll unleash his best performance yet. Zach, I could go on about famous actors forever, but we have a case to solve here. Let's table this discussion for now.
Alright, so this is Azuli. Yeah, the skateboard's very loud. It also seems to have a percentage gauge over on the left there. Okay. I thought it was loading something.
A voodoo shop.
Yes.
It's a voodoo shop.
All right, York. Don't cream your pants.
Just looks like a dumb souvenir shop to me.
Probably more accurate.
Of course it does, Patty. You're much too young to understand the true value of such a place.
All right, patronizing.
By the way, Patty, what do you usually do when you're at home?
Is this an interrogation?
Oh, no. I just figured that since we're working together now, it'd be a good idea to learn a little more about you.
Should an adult male like you really be asking a little girl this kind of question?
Thank you,
I feel
Patricia.
like I heard a story about this sort of thing on the news once.
There's a time and a place for everything. You know exactly who I am, and I've also introduced myself to your father. Besides, you're the one who said you wanted to come with me.
I was just kidding, jeez. You're an FBI special agent. Why would I ever need to worry?
You shouldn't automatically trust someone just because they're an FBI special agent.
Accurate.
One's profession and one's personality are completely separate things. For example, One special agent may fall spiritually in love with a genius criminal who enjoys the taste of human flesh.
This is
That's
a very specific
Hannibal.
thing.
You pulled that straight out of a movie.
Just because it's a film doesn't mean it isn't deeply rooted in reality. You can't judge people solely based on where they work or how they look. You need to think hard and decide things for yourself.
Fine.
Also, that actually doesn't happen in Hannibal
So
the
allow me
movie.
to ask you this.
It happens in Hannibal the
How do you
book.
feel about me?
The movie
I
doesn't
don't know.
have that happen.
I only just met you.
Exactly. Now it sounds like you're thinking. You should never feel the need to force an answer out or pretend like you know something you don't. Zach, she's a good kid, isn't she? Honest and straightforward.
Oh, wait, there's one thing I can say.
Oh. What?
When you talk to yourself like that, it really creeps me out. Did you start doing that after you became an adult? Or have you just always done it? Either way, you should stop doing it. It's really weird and, like, makes me wince whenever I hear it.
Ooh. Zach, did you hear that? No need to worry. Neither of us are weird, I can assure you of that. She's probably just having trouble finding the right word to describe us. No, I think I'll stop there. Wouldn't want her to think we're getting desperate.
Like I said, it's really creeping me out.
Yeah, no, Clarice and Hannibal Lecter, Clarice Starling and Hannibal Lecter only fall in love in the book of Hannibal. In the film, they completely change the ending. In the book, Clarice Starling runs off with Hannibal Lecter and becomes a cannibal herself. It's really bad. If you think the film of Hannibal is bad, you need to read the book because it's absolutely terrible. And I say that as somebody who loved the book of Red Dragon and loved the book of Silence of the Lambs and also really liked the films based on those books. But Hannibal is atrocious and the film is atrocious, but it is somehow still not as atrocious as the book. And the less said about Hannibal Rising, the better. Because it's terrible. And if you thought the other two had their historical inaccuracies, oh dear Lord, is Hannibal Rising awful. Awful, 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 awful. Red Dragon and Silence of the Lambs are kind of all you need to read in that regard. Okay. This looks interesting. That's what's set up in my room in the hotel.
This is all kid stuff. It's just a bunch of charms.
And guns? Not gonna finish that sentence? Okay.
I'm allowed to watch TV and go on the internet, but I ain't allowed in here? My daddy makes no sense sometimes. You agree, right, Agent York? This is all just kid stuff.
Look at this, Zach. All the mysticism of the Deep South gathered up into one quaint little shop. This is 100 times more exciting than the FBI evidence vault. It's a vast treasure chest. So much to study, so much to learn.
Yeah, learning new cultures is good. Although some of the stuff in here does seem like it borders more on the exploitative than genuinely informational or informative.
Thou art a seeker, and I see the object of thy desire.
Okay.
Doth this be what thou seekest?
No, it wasn't, but I like it. That is a fierce croc or alligator.
I could
Crop.
sell it to thee now, and only now. Surely fortune shall not bless thee with another chance.
I've just realised that
Purchase this, and know that thy wishes shall be granted.
Okay.
That's crazy. Even I can tell you're getting cheated, Agent York.
I disagree, Patty. This person can be trusted. I've been studying people for quite a while, so I can tell. That figurine is connected to our future.
My price is true. What say thee?
So what I was about to say is, if you look at Francis Zach/York Morgan's signature on his thing, you can actually read it as both. It's so scratchy that you can read it as either Francis Zach Morgan or Francis York Morgan. I hadn't twigged that before. I'd only read it as Zach before. But when it had the close-up just then, it was actually quite clear that you could read it as both. That's kind of cool. $30. A strapping alligator wearing a top hat and standing on two legs. He's also carrying a cane. Well, the cane just tips over the edge too. Yeah, I'm definitely buying it.
I'll buy it.
Thou art a man of refined taste.
Damn straight.
I am loath to part with it, but 'twould be a fool's errand to keep it from such a keen-eyed
Alright,
soul.
you don't need to keep buttering the sale. I've already agreed to buy it.
What's wrong with you? No normal person would ever buy a piece of junk like that. Not even at a garage sale.
Marvelous, isn't it, Zach? What a treasure. I can't wait to use it.
Wait, use it? Use it?
Use it? Where?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, surely it's a decorative.
Isn't it obvious, Patty?
No, it's not, York.
I'm going to put it in front of Mrs. Carpenter's house.
Okay, you're going to terrify the crap out of a little old lady. Perfectly normal behaviour there, nothing morally questionable whatsoever. Just because something's legal doesn't mean it's morally okay.
In front of her house?
Yes. I'm sure this figurine will stop her right in her tracks.
You're going to give a little old lady a heart attack.
And that'll give us a chance to finally topple the 10 maidens.
You'll have already toppled one maiden by then, because you'll have killed her. She'll have had a heart attack.
Are you serious?
Of course I am. And so is Zach. Aren't you?
I'm seriously wondering if I should quit helping you out with this.
You probably should, Patricia. I think you'd be safer. This is a terrible idea. Terrible idea. We're going to kill a little old lady. It's the worst idea in the world. What time is it? Oh, never mind. Something's happening.
Whoa.
That was close.
Red dress. Red dress isn't good.
Well, look at you, all standing there like you're expecting me to apologize. Huh, it's your fault for not paying attention.
Okay. Red dress isn't usually
What?
good.
Got a moment?
Usually implies somebody's going to die in a Deadly
Can't
Premonition
say I
game.
do. I'm in a hurry here.
I won't take up too much of your time. I'd just like to ask you a few questions.
I said I'm in a hurry, Peckerwood. Now get out of my way.
Patty, who is that?
Kalina Clarkson. PJ Clarkson's second daughter, and Lisa's mother.
Zach, we've found ourselves a Clarkson.
No, she's not here. My dolly. Oh, she's not here. My dolly isn't here.
One of the key persons in this case just came out of the woodwork to meet us. Now things are really getting interesting.
I mean, she very clearly didn't come out here to
Isn't
meet
that right,
you.
Zach?
I kind of feel like we shouldn't be approaching a woman whose daughter just died when she's already annoyed with us for nearly walking into her, but okay. Okay, well, we're just going to leave for now because we don't need to poke the bee's nest. But yeah. Okay, so it was between 10 and 11:30, was it, that I need to put the ye olde alligator toy outside of a little old lady's house and scare the absolute bejesus out of her and potentially kill her? I will not be happy if York murders, well, kills a little old lady just to access a bowling alley. She can't be there 24/7. Surely we could just go there when she's sleeping. Especially if we know she's in her house at these hours. But fine. This loading screen is very scary because when it freezes like this, I have no idea if the game's just crashed. Oh, there we go. Just about. Right, so... Oh god. We've got a very long time before it's going to be feasible to go to her house. So in the meantime... Shall we try... Clarkson Food Delivery Services? Oh god, the skateboard noise needs to be lowered. It's so loud.
Did you notice it yet? The streets in New Orleans were a mess. All busted up and undergoing maintenance. The city was built on a swamp, so the ground is soft. All it takes is some heavy rain to cave it all in. There were also a lot of places where large tree roots were pushing up parts of the asphalt and the sidewalk. Those bumps were dangerous even when we still had our car, remember? But this town is different. The streets are all paved so cleanly that we can skate along them without a care in the world. And there's hardly any trash or graffiti to be found anywhere. The Clarksons truly do control this place, for better or worse. It's a good example of how allowing certain people to rise to power can have positive effects as well. Also, don't you find that Southern people are remarkably friendly, even to total strangers? Both here and in New Orleans, I've been amazed at how cordial everyone is. Is it just the way things are down here? You certainly don't see that sort of thing in New York or D.C. They never stop to chit-chat, especially...
Nope. I didn't realise it was going to cut to a cutscene as soon as I got onto the parking lot. I thought I could coast around and listen to him wax lyrical about the people, but apparently not. But yeah, I did like the implication of sometimes certain people, they're better than us, and it makes society better if they are on top of the food chain. There's sort of vague allusions towards that sort of thinking. I'm not entirely sure I'm on board with that, York.
Mr. York, that was mighty quick. The special agent does it again. You sure don't waste any time. I bet my CLG's got a lot to learn from you.
Oh god, that was
By the way, Mr. York,
janky.
looks to me like you aren't packing anything.
I beg your pardon?
I was on vacation in New Orleans before I happened to stop by here.
Well, shoot, that won't do. Here, I got something I think you'll like. I call him Mr. Alligator. Badass, ain't he?
I do like the purple.
It's a tranquilizer gun for the gators.
Tranquilizer gun that fires rubber bullets. That's not a tranquilizer gun. I don't think you tranquilize an alligator by shooting rubber bullets
And
at it.
here's
I
a
think you
radio.
probably just piss it off.
With this, you don't have to worry about any
But is
expensive
he-
roaming fees.
Is he trying to get me killed? Like, oh yeah, it's a tranquilizer gun for gators. So you're suddenly sees a gator and starts shooting at it with rubber bullets and just pisses it off and gets eaten. Lost to the bayou.
Might take you a while to get used to him, but you'll get it. Try letting him rip a few times. Ain't no need to hold back out here.
Ooh, shooting practice. Oh god, with this frame rate, this is going to be fun. Okie dokie. Okay, well, that's all fairly standard. Oh no, don't make me shoot dogs. I already knew that was going to be a thing. Oh my god, did you see the frame rate drop when I fired? There is a delay when you pull the trigger, that's not good. But fine, it works.
Now this is an intriguing weapon. For a tranquilizer gun, it really packs a punch.
Because it isn't a tranquilizer gun! It's a non-lethal gun, that does not make it a tranquilizer gun.
But I'm afraid I'll decline. After all, this town is peaceful, isn't it?
Well, sure it's peaceful. At least the humans are, but the animals are a different story. Remember what I named it? There are some real mean-ass gators out there in the swamps, and every now and then, they wander into town.
Okay.
One of them even went and ate a kid once. It happened a long time ago, but still. One chomp's all it takes. They swallow down every last bit of you.
Lovely.
Poor kid's parents didn't even know what to put in his coffin. The worst part is, that taught the gators just how tasty we humans are. So now, those suckers just attack on sight.
You make it sound as though they've planned this, the gators between them. They're like, oh, and we ate little Johnny. Oh, he was a tasty, tasty boy. Let's coordinate our efforts.
Man-eating crocodiles will feast tonight. In Blood Swamp!
You know he's fibbing, right? Gators don't attack folks. I never heard about no kid getting swallowed by a gator.
Actually, Patricia, you're wrong.
I'm what?
Alligators do attack people, and it could happen in any town.
Oh yeah, I get attacked by alligators all the time walking the streets of London. You don't hear about our vast alligator problem in London very often. In fact, you may not even know that alligators are a thing in England, let alone specifically London. But frequently, you have to be very careful when you sit in the toilet in case an alligator comes out of the toilet. Even when you turn on your taps in your kitchen, there is a very, very high chance that very small alligators can come out of the faucet.
Huh?
Alligator, 1980. Directed by Louis Teague. It takes place in the Midwest, I believe. A teenage girl's pet alligator gets flushed down the toilet. Then, in the sewer, it feeds on the corpses of dogs that were used as test subjects for an experimental growth formula. After growing over 30 feet, it finally starts to go after humans. It's an extremely edifying movie. Back when I first saw it, I had a pet hamster.
Oh God, York, what did you do to your hamster?
Hey, Agent York. What's your first order of business? You're in charge now, remember?
Well said, Patricia. I nearly lost sight of my true goal. Melvin, I couldn't help but notice the name on the side of that truck. This facility is connected to the victim, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Oh, right. Yeah.
You couldn't be trying to hide anything more if you tried to hide it more.
I reckon I better start from there. I'm gonna tell it to you straight right from the beginning, Mr. York.
I don't believe you're going to tell it to me straight.
As you guessed, this warehouse is run by the Clarksons.
Yes, I already knew that. And I don't even think I needed to guess it. I think I was explicitly told that by David, wasn't I?
The victim's father, Danny Clarkson, is the one who manages the whole place.
Thank God it's not run by Jeremy Clarkson.
Okay, but why did he choose to store her body in his own warehouse, right? Well, that's because there ain't no other place to store it. Our town has a clinic inside a church, but no more. Whenever someone kicks the bucket, we just bury him in the graveyard right outside of town. But not this time. We got a murder on our hands this time. We need to give Lisa's body an autopsy and keep it stored, right?
So you put it in the one place in town that can keep something in cold storage. That makes absolutely perfect sense.
So we had no choice but to rent out a corner of this warehouse.
I see. So that's what led to the ingenious choice to store the victim's body in a facility that her family owns.
Also does raise an issue, though, if her family have something to do with her murder, because they have access to the facility you're storing the body in which to potentially destroy evidence.
Anywho, this is where the real story begins. Truth is, a few days before you got here, Lisa's body went missing.
Oh, I wonder how that could possibly have happened.
Missing.
Yeah. All of a sudden, poof.
Did you leave the warehouse unlocked?
I most certainly did not. I locked the whole place up and made sure no one could get inside. No one stole the original key, and I couldn't find any fingerprints at the scene.
So, in other words, this is a locked room mystery.
The body of a beautiful young girl walks at Hey!
Again, seems to me fairly obvious who could have potentially gained access, given who owns it, and what was stored there.
All right, CLG.
Not to mention, as we know, because of the present day stuff, the body never left the cold storage unit because it was still frozen.
Reckon I should have told you about this earlier when you first said you wanted to come here. It just didn't seem like the time or place as I remember. Anywho, how about we call it a day and head back to my office? You can go through all the files there.
No, thank you.
Let me in.
This is what I came to investigate.
But Lisa's body isn't here anymore. You sure?
I'm more sure every time you try and make me not go in there, yes.
That doesn't bother me one bit, Melvin. You see, I met a skeletal gentleman on my way here, and he was kind enough to give me an oracle.
So, as we know from the present day, the body still has to be here somewhere. The question is, will York find it in 2005? Which will give us more insight into what he actually knows in the present day. Because if he finds it and doesn't mention it, then we might find out why he didn't mention it. Wow, you changed quickly.
You holding up okay, CLG? Sure you don't want to wait outside?
I'll be fine, Daddy. Just make sure you don't take your eyes off of him. He's so selfish and inconsiderate. I'm still not convinced he's actually a real FBI agent. Look, he's talking to himself again.
Zach, this is the ambiguous zero, the deep freeze. Let's hurry up and find that flying serpent, shall we?
What happens if I shoot people in this? I'm not going to, but kind of curious.
Good God almighty. This place always gives me goosebumps, no matter how many times I come here.
Yes, it's quite the funhouse. Meat entertainment. That's the only way to describe it.
Meat entertainment. That is a demented way of describing it.
Woven together by life, frozen in time, a visceral, musical...
Symphony. We eat all this in order to survive.
Yes, truly a symphony. Life and death, resonating together.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Cool. Whoa now, CLG. Since when were you interested in this kind of stuff?
Since
What
you
are
met
you so
York.
surprised for, Daddy? I'm more mature than you are. I've seen way more realistic corpses on CSI, you know.
Oh, man.
At first, Zach, I was shocked by the notion of storing a victim's body alongside food. But as I gaze upon this hanging garden, I realize it's just another scene of violent, depraved murder.
I mean, yes. Does that mean you're going vegan, York?
Yes. All we need to do is change our point of view, and things will expose themselves in utterly new ways.
Meat entertainment, everybody. Look at all this entertaining meat. Oh, that's a particularly entertaining bit. Oh, that right there. That is the meat equivalent of Citizen Kane. I think if we go over here, yes. There we go. There's meaty Goodfellas. We're getting into the less quality meat entertainment here. I think you'll find that is the meat equivalent of Big Brother. And right next to it, yep, I do believe that is the meat equivalent of the Jeremy Kyle show. Mostly gristle and slightly rotten. Ooh. Soundtrack is pumping.
Melvin, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you a personal question.
Oh god, this could be anything coming from York.
In the hotel parking lot, when I first met you, the picture you had on your dashboard happened to catch my eye.
Nope.
Oh, her? Yeah, that's my lady, all right. Candy. Her name's Candy. The prettiest girl in town, which makes me the happiest boy. A shooting star landed in a rural town, right on top of a man who now has a meteor struck hard.
That's quite sweet.
You always keep her photo with you?
You bet I do. The truth is, Candy's a little sick right now.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
She can't even leave the house no more. So I always keep her photograph with me. Kind of feels like we're always together, you know?
Okay, right. Now, because this game encourages me to think in depraved and creepy ways, I'm slightly worried about why his wife isn't feeling very well.
I see. You care for your wife a great deal.
See, and that could have dual meaning later, and...
But this means that
I hate games like this. They make me think in the worst possible ways. I'm like, how can I take that in a bad way? Because inevitably that'll be the twist is, oh, he's hacked off her limbs and he's got her trapped in a room at home. I hope it is genuinely that she's just a little under the weather and that he loves her dearly, not that he is a demented psycho stalker creepy man.
Yeah, that's right. My mama had me before she married Daddy. But it don't matter. He's still my real daddy to me.
Oh, thank you, CLG.
No, that's sweet. That is sweet.
And you're my pride and joy.
well, Zach, isn't this a heartwarming scene?
Yes, don't ruin it.
But there's one thing I just can't get out of my mind. Don't you think that photograph looked a bit... Perhaps Candy is already... No, let's not think about that. It might be a private matter, just like you, Zach.
See, this is what I mean about these types of games making you think in horrible ways. Right, I think I'm going to save and end it there, because I'm going to try and stick to 1 hour clips of this. But we shall pick up next time and see if we can find where this body has disappeared to. Righty-ho. And on that note, adieu, adieu to you and you and you and you.